Welcome back to the Boudoir. I am your host, Aisha Jones. Happy Tuesday, my darlings. It's always so nice to be here recording for you guys. We've been having some great discussions these past few weeks talking all about confidence and being your true authentic self and leaning into the power that it comes with. When you're living authentically, sometimes you can come across people that don't always have your best interest at heart, and therefore your energy may feel depleted afterwards. It can be people you're dating, it could be your family members, friends, just random people that see your light and see what you have to offer and what you bring. And I'm going to tell you some ways that you can protect your energy. This is perfect for people that are trying to break out of the people pleaser thing. It's difficult, but once you do it, it is so fulfilling. Let me tell you, protecting your energy can be so beneficial, especially when you're trying to learn how to say no. Because I know for me, when I was first trying to break out of the people pleaser thing, it was so hard for me to say that two-letter word, N-O. I would say yes to things I didn't want to do. I would go places I didn't necessarily want to go, even though I was extremely exhausted, or I just didn't feel like going, or I didn't want to go because I was trying so hard to please everyone and, be at the top of everybody's lists of people that they like, that I would forget about myself, and thus I would have no energy for myself. And I would wonder, why am I feeling depressed? Why am I feeling like I don't have a handle on my life, and that I'm not being fulfilled in my life? Like, it's not fair when it seems like I'm putting out so much energy. Especially as us young women in our 20s, we are so focused on being the best version of ourselves. We're so focused on having friends and maybe having a relationship and, doing the whole adult thing, especially when you're going from like young adulthood to true adulthood. You're being thrust into this thing with no experience. You're learning on the job. You're just trying to make a good impression on everybody. You're trying to grow your career. You're trying to do all of these things and wear all of these different hats. And sometimes your energy can get pulled in the wrong direction, or just directions that don't really fulfill you or benefit you. So these tips are going to help those of us who have a hard time saying no, have a hard time speaking up for themselves, asserting themselves. I know, I was there. It still is difficult sometimes here and there, but I feel like I've gotten a better grasp on it now. I'm so good at vetting people and vetting situations, and I've learned to just accept that people aren't always going to be happy with the choices I make, and that's totally fine with me. Somebody's always going to be disappointed. You can't please everybody, so the best thing you can do is go to places, engage with people that enhance your energy and not steal from it and take from it. I feel like I've had so many situations in the past where like every time I would hang out with somebody, I would always feel worse about myself, questioning my worth, not having the zest and the passion for life that I would normally have without that person. And it comes to a point where you have to decide what's the most beneficial for you and your energy, and where are you going to spend your time. So number one way to protect your energy is to not go back and forth with people. And what I mean by that is, sometimes in life there's these things called bad faith actors, and they are people that are placed in your life in certain situations to kind of play the contrarian, or kind of like the devil's advocate, if you will. Nothing you do is ever going to be the right answer. Like, they're always going to find something wrong with what you're doing, what you're pursuing, where you're going, who you're hanging out with. It doesn't matter what you do. You could be the most purest, perfect angel there ever was. They would still have a problem with it. These people have already made up a narrative in their head about you, and you will never deviate from that narrative that they've given you. So it's best to not go back and forth with people who question your lifestyle, question the way you live. It's never worth it to explain yourself to somebody, especially when you already know what you know to be true about yourself. People that have a problem with that and have a problem with your authenticity and your conviction in who you are going to play these bad faith actors, because they can't stand to see somebody, for whatever reason, be so sure of themselves. And so they will do little things to make you question where you stand and question the belief system that you've built for yourself, in order to make you feel insecure about the choices you made. What they're actually doing is they're projecting it onto you. You see how they just like gave you this role of, oh, I'm suddenly insecure. Yeah, that's projection. It's best to not go back and forth with these people, because they're never going to get it. They don't want to understand. They're never going to see it how you see it. And you shouldn't have to live your life that way. Like, you shouldn't have to explain the choices you make to people. You shouldn't have to, plead your case. And if they're intentionally going out of their way to misunderstand you, do not go back and forth. Don't go back and forth with trolls and comments either. Like, those people are intentionally just there to make you upset. They want you to literally just go back and forth, engage with them, give them the attention that they want, because they don't get it anywhere else. So they want to engage with you. It's like a low-hanging piece of attention and engagement. Any attention is better than no attention, whether it's negative or not. They just want someone to engage with. So do not go back and forth with these people. These are bad faith actors. They do not want to reach a common ground. They just want to enrage you. They may ask you questions under the guise of curiosity, like, oh, you're gonna wear that? Why are you gonna do this? Or like, you really think you can go for that job? Like, you see how there's an underlying hint of like, you know what I'm talking about, right? That is a bad faith actor. We do not want to engage. Like, that is just so beneath our energy. It's not worth it. The best way to move forward with these people is to not engage at all. What they want is a reaction. They want you to go back and forth with them. Do not give them the satisfaction of a reaction. That's exactly what they want. Number 2 way to protect your energy: say what you mean and mean what you say. So if you tell a guy, I don't do X, Y, and Z on a first date, and then here comes the first date and you're doing X, Y, and Z, that doesn't make sense. That doesn't add up. You see, people are going to see that you cannot stand on the boundaries that you've claimed you set for yourself. So it's important to stand on your word. If you don't tolerate certain things in a friendship, in a relationship, what have you, stand on it. Make it known in the beginning where you stand and what you're looking for out of the relationship, out of the friendship. And if the second that they go against something that you've already stated you don't want, you have to act on it. You have to teach the lesson by enforcing it. You can't just give somebody 15 million chances and then wonder why does this keep happening? Like, you have to truly stand firm in what you want. And in doing so, it might seem, hard in the beginning to like stand your ground and be assertive, but you're going to weed out the people that are just here to play games with you, right? And ultimately what we want our energy to be cleansed, safe, secure, and that will not allow the fakes, the phonies, and the clowns. I'm sorry. That does not match with what we're trying to build here. If you're trying to be on this side of things, if you're trying to have your energy protected, we cannot engage with the clowns. Therefore, that means we have to stand on our word. If we don't do certain things, we don't do it just because, but he's so cute, or, I just want to see where it goes. Nah. You got to stand on your ground, because the second you tell somebody, this is how I behave, and then you start deviating from that, they're going to be like, it's going to be so easy to run the okie doke because this person can't even stand on their own word. So it's like, you have to be very careful. Keep it mute, don't say anything, and just watch their actions and move accordingly, or make it clear up front, and you got to stand on it. You got to be strict. I'm sorry. I know everybody hates the strict person, but somebody's got to do it. That's the role. That's the choice you take, because your energy is too perfect. Why are we going to sit and waste our time with the little clowns and the players? A boundary is a standard of living, and you have to stick to it. Once you decide to take your life in a certain direction, you can't go back. That's just how it is. That's a part of the responsibility of being on this side of life and being on the leveled up side of things. You have to make certain sacrifices, and that means, everybody can't be in your energy. If you're literally just not following anything you say, people are going to take that as a sign as, I can just pull the wool over this person's eyes, and nope, you can't do that. So be mindful. Practice what you preach. Number 3 way to protect your energy is to go where you are wanted. I've talked about this on my channel before, but it is important to recognize and look around you in certain spaces. If you are noticing that you're being singled out of events or hangouts, people are intentionally leaving you out of the conversation and letting you be confused and not be aware of what's going on, you don't want to be there, because they don't respect your time, they don't respect who you are as a person, and they want to literally see you confused and clueless as to what's going on. The people that are around you should want to have you be included and should want you to be a part of what's going on in their life. And if you feel like you're constantly being left out of people's, major things, like, of course, people don't have to tell you every single detail that's going on in their lives, but like, for the most part, if, you're going to be friends, people aren't going to like just make plans behind your back. You know what I'm trying to say? So go where you are wanted. If you're not being treated correctly in a relationship, it's time to go. What are we doing here? There's nothing more to see. You're not if somebody being disrespectful to you, they don't want you there. They may want you to be there so that they can continue disrespecting you, but they don't actually want you there. And you shouldn't want to be somewhere you're not being appreciated. It shouldn't feel good to feel like you're constantly having to work to impress the people that you're around. They should accept you as you are for the most part, encouraging you to be your best, but they shouldn't be making you feel bad just for who you are. Like, it shouldn't work like that. So definitely make sure you are being careful of where you are choosing to spend your energy, who you're spending it with, where you're going. Are the places you're going, welcoming? Do they accept people like you there? That's also a very important thing. You shouldn't have to feel ostracized somewhere. Like, it's nowhere is ever worth it to go if you're just going to be made to feel like you're the odd one out. And being around people that are so vastly different from you and who don't work or encourage you to like be a part of their world, it will make you constantly question yourself. If you're someone who likes to eat and you're hanging around a bunch of bodybuilders who are like judging you and like judging people who like to indulge every now and again, you're not going to feel comfortable being around them. You're never going to want to be yourself because you're stifling the person that you're meant to be just for the sake of, having all these people around you, having a posse, having, whatever. It's never worth it, It's never worth it. So it's important to sharpen your awareness and your judgment skills and just be mindful when you feel like something's off. If you feel like there's a shift in energy with the people that you're hanging out with or the person you're dating, question that. Look into it. Another more practical tip you can use to protect your energy and to just make yourself feel a little more centered and grounded is to practice finding a calm space to go to in your head and in your body. If you for whatever reason, you can't get out of a situation, you're unfortunately around people that don't vibe with your energy and that make you feel drained, the best thing you can do is when you notice that you're feeling triggered or that these people are being bad faith actors, you can tap into your calm. Find that thing that keeps you grounded and that keeps you going, whether that's thinking about your dream life, thinking about all of the things that you're currently doing to cultivate the life that you want. Even if it's hard now, you're still making those little steps to turn the needle forward and go to the place you want to go. Or if it's thinking about your family members and your friends and the people around you that keep you grounded and that make you feel happy and fulfilled. Maybe it's thinking about a pet or another loved one. Whatever that is, you have to find something and develop a calm space for you to go to. Sometimes your outer world is not always going to be butterflies and rainbows. It's not always going to be everything you want, and it's important for you, in order to stay grounded and to stay sane, basically, is to find something that keeps you going. Exercise is also really good for that too, because it's releasing and like moving around all of the stagnant energy that's in your body. So like going on a quick 10-15 minute walk can even turn your whole day around or just make you feel like you're back to yourself and getting out of your head. But it's super important to prioritize finding your calm and finding things that are going to heal your nervous system, because it really does affect you. Like, there's a book called The Body Keeps Score, and it's been on my wish list to read for a while now, but it's true. Like, you don't even realize all of these years of pent up aggression and doing things you didn't necessarily want to do out of, wanting to people please and be on everybody's good side, that takes a toll on you. You have to find something that can take you out of that place and remind you of why you're still here on this earth, breathing, moving oxygen through your body. Like, you're still here, you're still a part of this human experience, and you need something that's going to keep you going. And it's important for you to do things like meditating, journaling, hobbies, anything that just keeps you going and keeps you, back in your body, especially when you have all of this outside noise that's affecting you. Like, it's super important to just find that one thing, or even multiple things. It doesn't have to just be one thing that keeps you calm. Like, it's important to have an array, a whole system of things you can do and like cycle through to help bring you back down to earth. Another way to keep your energy in check is to not engage with every single drama that's going on, whether that's gossip in your friend group, in your real life, or if it's whatever internet topic of the week that's going on, your timeline. It's super important to pick and choose what you're engaging with, because because after a while that stuff can really affect you. And like when you're constantly, scrolling for the messiest, juiciest Twitter topic or whatever of the week, you're still putting your energy and your time into that. And whether you notice it or not, that can really start to affect you because you're taking in all of these other people's opinions that aren't even your own. Remember that you don't have to engage and comment and have an opinion on everything. Sometimes it's okay to be neutral. Sometimes it's okay to have no opinion at all. I know in this landscape of the internet, everybody's like, okay, so what's your opinion on this? Oh, so speak about this. Sometimes it's okay to not have any opinion. I know for me, I'm learning that I don't always have to have such a staunch view on something. Sometimes I simply am just very neutral. I have no strong opinions, and I don't feel like I have to have a strong opinion on everything anymore. Filter out what's really important to you and what's just the next sensational topic of the week. Do I actually care about this, or am I just being carried away by all of the hype and everything that's going on? So just keep that in mind when you're scrolling through all of these sensational topics. Maybe don't have notifications on your social media so you're not so inundated with every little thing that's going on outside, and you can protect your sanctuary and what you have within yourself. I always advocate for taking a little step back from social media every now and again, especially when there's like big news topics or just big debates going on. And if you find that it really starts to affect you because you're a sensitive person, there's nothing wrong with taking a few days off. Like all of those videos, you're not missing out on anything. Like there's people are posting billions of videos, billions of posts every single day. Like you are not missing out on anything. Like let's talk about the FOMO of like feeling like you're missing out on, I don't know, whatever. You don't always have to comment. You don't always have to engage with what's going on. And like you'll find sometimes that like after these things pass, you're like, I'm so happy I didn't talk about this because like I really didn't need to. Like why am I going to attach my name to this if I don't have to? Like you don't always have to have such a strong opinion on everything that pops up on your newsfeed, that comes down the pipeline in your school hallways, that is the water cooler conversation at work. Like sometimes you can literally just put your head down, put your headphones in, and just focus on you. And if people are pestering you like, oh, what do you think about this? What do you think? No comment. I don't know. I don't really know too much about it. Like there's nothing wrong with turning down the bone that people feed you when it comes to like engaging with gossip. It can be enticing. Everybody does it sometimes. Let's not sit here and act like you've never gossiped. We all do it. It's literally a part of the world. People just love sensational topics and people just love to give their opinions. But when you're trying to protect your energy and you're trying to be in a new phase in your life, it's super important to pick your battles wisely. Everything doesn't need your opinion. Everything doesn't need to be discussed, because then you start taking those feelings home with you and you're like, why am I carrying these people's burdens? Like, why am I carrying these people's opinions with me? Like, this literally doesn't have anything to do with me. Like, if I would have never came across this social media post, I would not even be thinking about this right now. So you just have to put things into perspective. And speaking of that, like carrying other people's opinions, be careful with what you're scrolling online and just like the media that you're consuming. You may not even realize, but a lot of like the guilt, the shame, the random pent up like aggression that you're just holding and harboring is not even your own thoughts. It's just some things that you've seen on social media that are just so prevalent that it becomes a part of your daily script in your brain. And these thoughts may not even be your own. It's just other people's regurgitated thoughts. We have to be super careful when it comes to propaganda, because we can be taking in things that are literally making us depressed. This is why it's super important to figure out what your values are and things that you truly care about, because you might be caring about something that's going on online that you actually really don't care about. You're like putting all of your emotion into this thing that you're like, wait, if I actually sit back and think about this, like, do I really care about this insecurity that they're thrusting on me today? Do I really care about this random Twitter fight of the week? Like, odds are you probably don't. You have to build up your own belief system, and that may sometimes go against what the masses may want and like what they say is the right answer, but you have to figure out your own moral compass. You have to figure out what means the most to you. And that's why it's so important to have such a strong protection system within yourself, because nobody can tell you how to feel. You've already decided for yourself. You already know what holds true for you, so you don't have to be subjected to all these people's different opinions and stuff. And lastly, I just want you to remember that energy is expensive and precious, and you need to spend it wisely. When you're overexerting spending and you're overspending your energy, that's when you start feeling depressed, depleted, unsatisfied with your life. But when you are picky and choosy and you divvy out your energy wisely, that is when you're going to start truly feeling fulfilled. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe if you're watching me on YouTube. And of course, make sure you download today's episode and rate me 5 stars if you're listening on Spotify, Apple Pods, wherever else you listen to your podcast. My birthday is on Saturday, so it would be really cool if we could hit 200 subscribers by then. I think we can totally do it. Yeah, that'll be a little challenge for you guys to see if we can get to 200 subbies by August 10th. All right, I will talk to you guys next week. Bye.